Hit it. You gotta hit it hard. You gotta hit it hard, man. Mike.
Well, I'm trying not to. Here, let me just do it like this.
No. See, that's why. Hit it hard. Hold the hammer like a man.
Fuck off.
Don't put your hand that close. You might slip off and hit it. There you go. See that? Do the same thing. Tap this. Don't hit my hand. That one you can use the hammer if you want to hit it directly. I'm okay with that. Hit it. You fucking hit like a girl. There you go. This up. Pull that axle out. There you go. Just pull it straight. Be careful it doesn't come undone on you. So just pull it straight out. Yank on it. Yank on it. Fucking yank on it, man.
Oh, here.
No, here. Put your hand here and fucking yank on it. There you go. Hey guys, your Fortrax guy, and I'm going to do a quick comparison on Demon axles versus OEM axles. So as you can see, the cup is like quite a bit bigger than the OEM. The angles aren't that much steeper. It is more. I'll do maybe strap them to the table, let them hang off so you guys can see the angles, but this thing definitely is a lot bigger. Shaft's a lot more beefier, so pretty excited. The plunge definitely is a lot longer on this guy too, as you can see that, right? More plunge too, which is nice to have. Like I said, I'll strap these to the table and we'll see the angle difference on them. I got this strapped down to the table, and I'm going to show you the angle difference between the OEM and the Demon axle. So the Honda one, that's maxed out right there, and the Demon one is maxed out right there. It's actually quite a bit lower than the other one, so you do have a more crease angle on this. Alright boys, we just finished installing this axle. It's pretty easy to install. The snap ring, I'll show you on the other ones, but the snap ring sticks out a little bit farther than the other one. So it was a little bit harder to get in than a Honda axle, but I just wobbled it around for about a minute tops, and then it popped in, right? Don't try to like slam it in or nothing, just get it lined up and wobble it around and put a lot of pressure until it pops in. Down here in the lower one here as well, it was it went in really easy, everything lined up. Definitely a bigger nut, bigger studs on it, way more heavier duty than the OEM. So I'll show you more shit on the other axles there, so you understand. One thing this did not come with is a cotter pin. Not a big deal. I have a bunch laying around in the garage here, so something you want to maybe get is a new cotter pin, because these are a little bit more beefier holes for the cotter pins than Honda axles. Alright guys, we're just finishing this up here. We just put the two front axles in here. As you can see, that's my buddy Micah there working on her. So the left side went in beautiful. She popped in, everything worked out really good. I think it took maybe a minute to put the axle in to get it popped in. The ring does sit out pretty high, so it does take a little bit longer than the OEM axle, right? But once she snapped in, she's good, she didn't pop out. Now here on the right side here where Mike is working here, we got this axle was a pain in the fucking dick to get it locked in. It wasn't going in all the way. We had a hell of a time. There's a little step on the shoulder here. I'll show you. This one's nice and smooth, but on the other one there's a little step here. I guess it maybe seals, it goes in the seal better. So yeah, that was definitely an issue of probably resistance holding us back. Now I do put a little bit of grease on the end of these, right? So maybe a little bit of grease got locked in. We pulled it apart again, or pulled it back out, and tried again, and she popped in. So it's one thing to know that, so you know, on the right side we did have a little bit of an issue trying to get it locked in. We did get there, but it took us a little bit longer than usual. I think it took us like a good 10 minutes, so a lot of fighting. So that's the front. They went pretty good. They look good. Everything's fitting properly. Everything's bolting up. It's awesome. Like I said, the only issue is it doesn't come with a cotter pin. Bigger cotter pin than the OEM. So maybe go out to Canadian Tire and grab some cotter pins there or whatever, wherever you're from. Kmart, Walmart, wherever, Canadian Tire. So anyways, we're going to strip down the back, pull both axles out and show you both of them and compare them. I hope this is helpful in any way, so you guys understand what you're buying, what kind of product you're getting out of these. These are awesome. They look good. Everything's looking really good. Their angles are beautiful. Everything's awesome. So alright, hey guys, so I just noticed a slight little problem here. I don't know if you can see, but my guard here got bent and it's almost rubbing into the boot here. So make sure you turn it on angles there. As you can see, look at the clearance we got there. Just double check your angles, make sure everything's good. We're just gonna bend that back up to get more clearance there, okay? Good luck right now. Okay. She cranked? No. Alright guys, so we got it cranked up. Got a lot more room now. Lots of clearance. I'd say a good 3/8 of a gap anyways. And that's cranked, so the tire's on. She's not gonna stretch it anymore. So that's good there. So just keep an eye on things like this with the new axles. Bigger boots, bigger cups, bigger, everything's bigger. So just keep an eye on everything. Okay guys, so let's just I'm just gonna sum this up for you quickly here. What upgrades you're making on the Demon axle compared to the stock axle here. So believe it or not, the stock axle has more of an angle at the plunge. I'm gonna say because it's probably worked in. It's not much, it's only a few degrees, but it definitely has more of an angle at the plunge. But on the outboard here, it has less of an angle. It's 8 degrees more of an angle on the down here on the outboard. Thicker shaft. You get a, I think, fuck, I measured these too. I can't remember now. So this one's about 13/16 and this one's 15/16. So it's about an 1/8 difference in the shaft diameter here in the center. So that's actually a good, an 1/8 is a big number for the shaft in the center here. What else was there? The plunge. The plunge are exact same as well. So you're not getting any plunge. The only thing you're gaining is this axle is 1/8 longer. Yeah, 1/8 longer than the stock. So you are making a few minor upgrades, which will help you. But definitely, I was a little surprised because everything's almost identical if you really look at it. But no, you are making a few upgrades here on the Demon axles on the rear. I never broke a rear axle. It's not turning, right? It's just staying at the same angle. So it's not, I guess it doesn't have to be as heavy duty as the front, but the front axles compared to the rear are twice the size because I guess they take a lot more abuse. So just wanted to show you this little review so you guys can understand what you're getting. So I just finished greasing the rear axle. Make sure you put a little bit of grease on there. There we go. Does move that a little bit, eh? A little bit of a groove there, eh guys? I don't know if you can see that. Get even closer here. Isn't too bad to lock it in there. Just watch this. So it's locked in now. But look at that little bit of a play, right? Probably be okay. But anyway, it's just, that's one thing I've noticed here. There's a little bit of play with that ring. Maybe that ring's not fat enough. We'll see how she works. I don't know if you guys can see it here. Same thing. A little bit of movement. Make sure while you have this thing all apart, take your wheel bearings and we grease them. Okay, doesn't hurt running in mud and water. So I'm gonna slam this all back together there and I'll give you a quick review of how hard it was to install these bad boys. All right, hey guys, so I just finished putting the ATV back together. Installation went really well in the rear. I didn't have any issues. They popped in. Just got to wiggle them around, they pop in. Like I said, the only issue I have is these going back and forth as I showed you earlier. It's obviously the clips, maybe it just could be a little bit fatter maybe to hold it better in place, but whatever. I'll run them like that, see what happens. Like I said, the rear went in really good, didn't have any issues. The front left went in really nice. Took me about 5 minutes to get it wiggled in. A little bit harder than the rear, but still, like I said, 5 minutes tops to wiggle it in. On the right side here, this one here, it took me a good 20 minutes, I think. 20 minutes of screwing around to get that snapped in. But once I did, it's good, it's locked in. They're all pretty hard to take out. I pulled on them to rip them out to see how hard it is, and it is pretty hard, so, but you can still do it, so kind of trust it. We'll see what happens. All in all, the installation went good, and like I said, you get an 1/8 longer axle out of these, which helps out with the lift. So I do kind of recommend these if you go 2-inch or 3-inch lift on these. That little 1/8 and more plunge will help out. Like I said, the rear, so remember guys, so the rear is almost the exact same, just a little bit beefier and a little bit longer, where the front, you get bigger cups, more plunge, more of an angle. The bigger, or the front ones, are definitely a lot different. So if you're on a budget and you snapped your front ones and you want to leave your stock OEMs, I would recommend you try and just leave your stock OEMs and just change out the front. It costs, what, half the price pretty much. So just something I would recommend doing, because like I said, the rears, the rears, a little bit, the shaft's a little bit bigger and they're a little bit longer, but the angle and everything, there's not much difference. The cup size and everything else, just a few small minor things that are different, but for the price you're paying, if you don't have to change them, don't change them. But anyways, I'm gonna go put 100K on these bad boys, do some trail riding, break them in and hit some mud, see if I can snap one, give you guys an honest review on them.